Welcome everybody, Anthony here. It is Sunday, December 14th, 2025 at about 11:15 a.m. In the next video, the next few videos, I want to look at Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 9. And what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to read Daniel chapter 9, verse 1 to verse 23 to prepare us to look at verses 24, 25, 26, and 27, which are very critical to understand the prophecy that Daniel was given in this chapter is what Messiah fulfilled in the first century. You know, the Daniel 70 weeks and 69 weeks and all the talk of verse 24, 25, 26, and 27. We're going to look at those separately. But I believe it's important, very important, to read chapter 9 from the beginning to understand Daniel, what he says in chapter 9, leading up to him being given the vision. Because he did some incredible things, Daniel did, in this chapter that I think are worth looking at verse by verse. So I'm just going to read it. I'm reading from the Restored Names Bible, the Racine. So what I had to do is some of the Hebrew words that I didn't know, I had to go in the back of the book and I had to, write them in. So when I read it, I can read it. Until you read the Racine enough to know what the words mean, it's what I do is I write them in the sideline here, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. So that's what I did here. So I think we'll start reading it up to verse 23, and that'll be the video for today. But I want you to listen very closely to Daniel's prayer and what he says about himself and the people, his people, Yasharel, and what they did, how they were in this predicament. Because remember, they're in Babylon. They've been captured and taken in 539 BC. So he's writing this from captivity. But the vision he gets is something future in the final verses. So this is what he writes. Verse 9, chapter 1. In the first year of Daryawesh, that's Darius, the son of Achashverosh, that's Ahasuerus, of the zera, or of the seed of the Medes, who was made malchut king over the realm of the Chaldeans. So Darius is who is in power right now when he's writing this. Verse 2, in the first year of his malchut, his rule, his kingdom, I, Daniyel, understood by the Katuv scrolls, the scriptures, the scrolls, the number of the years stated in the word of HWHY that came to Yirmeyahu, or Jeremiah. So he's citing what Jeremiah said, Jeremiah the navi, the prophet, to accomplish the 70 years regarding the desolation of Yahrushalayim. Verse 3, and I set my face to HWHY MYHLA to seek by tefillah and supplication, prayer and supplication, with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. This is how serious Daniel was taking this. He's praying, he's making supplication, making his case known, with fasting, with sackcloth, and with ashes. How many of us today pray in that nature for what's been taking place in our country and around the world? Take it that serious, that we would go before the throne with that kind of fervor and preparedness. And I made tefillah to HWHY MYHLA and made my confession and said, O HWHY, the great and dreadful Al, keeping the brit, that's the covenant, keeping the covenant. Remember what we talk about, covenant. It's a two-party agreement. It's not one-sided. You don't go into a covenant and just do what you want and not worry about the signed contract that you made with the other side. And the rachamim, keeping the brit, the covenant, and the rachamim. So Yah keeps his covenant and his rachamim, his mercy. To them that love him, and to them that keep his mitzvoth. What is his mitzvoth? Let's see what that word means. Mitzvoth. Yahuwah's commandments, or man's obedient deeds, or obedient works. Sound familiar that people try to say is done away with? Works of Torah done in complete submission and willingness. Done in complete submission and willingness because we love our Messiah. That's why we keep his commandments. This is what Daniel's getting across here. Keep his mitzvoth. They're from Yahuwah. They're not made up. We, he's talking now collectively, we have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and from your tzadik, mishpatim, your righteous right rulings. So we, Daniel himself, and the rest of Yasharel, the people that were in captivity from Judah and Jerusalem at the time in Babylon, rebelled and they departed. Sound familiar? What we do today? And then we want blessings. And then we want to celebrate whatever we want, whatever syncretism the world sends us, and call it a feast and make it holy in our eyes or set apart, kadosh, in our eyes when it's not in Yah's eyes, because he's unchanging, and so is Mashiach. Neither have we listened to your avadim, your servants, the navim, the prophets. We didn't listen to your servants, the prophets, whom you sent to us. Yah didn't send the prophets to the Amalekites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites. He sent them to a particular, peculiar people. And they didn't listen. They were stiff-necked. We're the same today. This prayer is us today, you and me included. Who spoke in your name, so the prophets spoke in your name to our malachim, our nobles, so they spoke to the king, the nobles, our avot, our fathers, and to all the people of the land. Verse 7, O Yahuwah, Zedekah belongs to you. Righteousness belongs to you. Not us. We're not righteous in our own selves, although many people think they are. Righteousness, Zedekah belongs to you, but to us shame of face. And at this yom, this day, to the men of Yehudah and to the inhabitants of Yahrushalayim, and to call, K-O-L, or all, Yasharel, that are near and that are far off, through all the countries where you have driven them. Because why? Because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against you. They broke their brit. They broke the covenant. They were adulterous. Yah didn't break his end of the covenant. They broke theirs. That's what Daniel's citing here. That's what we have to understand today. We, many people, most Christians, break their end of the covenant because they think they could do whatever they want. Because they're not under the law, which is a misinterpretation of what the Torah is. The Torah is not the law, it's the righteous right rulings. They're righteous, which means they're perfect, they're right, they're not wrong, and they're rulings from above, from the shamayim, from heaven, given to man so that he can live and prosper in peace and safety under Yahuwah. Not under his own. Okay, so they're driven out. They trespassed against you. Verse 8, O Yahuwah, to us belongs shame of face, to our malchim, our kings, to our nobles, and to our avat, our fathers, because we have sinned against you. Verse 9, to Yahuwah, our Elohayim, belong rachamim, mercy and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. He's telling him in the prayer, you are still merciful and forgiving. Okay, that's who your character is. That's who you are. That's your nature. He's telling him, though we have rebelled against him. 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahuwah or HWHY to our halakha. So our way, we took our own way, our halakha, in his Torah, his instructions, which he set before us by his avadim, the prophet, the neviim, the prophets. Yahuwah sent his word with the prophets to tell Yasharel how to walk. How to walk. When you walk, it's a daily thing. You walk to the bathroom. You walk to the kitchen. Some people walk to work. They walk while they're out. They walk. They're in the Torah. The prophets described how the people of Yasharel were to live according to what Yahuwah was instructing. Not made up stuff. Verse 11. Yes, Kol, or all, Yasharel, has transgressed your Torah, even by departing that they might not obey your voice. Therefore, the curse ha-Allah, the curse, that's evil, personification of evil and cursing. The word is ha-Allah, is poured upon us. So evil is poured upon us and cursing. I talked about cursing in the other video that I did regarding the breaking of the commandments, the 10 commandments. And the oath that is written in the Torah of Moshe, the Avad, the servant of HWHY, because we have sinned against him. Verse 12. And he has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us and against our leaders that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole Shamayim has not been done such destruction as has been done upon Yahrushalayim. So because they were stiff-necked, broke his covenant, his brit, he poured upon them, his chosen people, this destruction that Daniel's talking about, this captivity that Daniel's talking about. 13, as it is written in the Torah of Moshe, all this evil has come upon us, yet we did not make our tefillah before Yahuwah or HWHY, that we might make teshuvah. Remember what teshuvah is. They were to pray, make teshuvah, repent, means turn. You could be sorry for what you did. Sorry is not teshuvah. A criminal can be sorry he got caught, but not reform his ways. I could be sorry for something I did, but not reform my way and keep going down the wide road. Teshuvah is turning from that, repenting, and now walking on Yah's path, which is narrow. And most people don't want to follow it because they like the wide road. Because the wide road is fun to a lot of people. We might make teshuvah from our what? Iniquities. And understand your amat, truth. Therefore, has Yahuwah watched over the evil and brought it upon us. For Yahuwah, our Elohayim, is tzadik. He's righteous in all his works, which he does. For we, the people, Daniel's saying, we, us, did not obey his voice. Listen to how simple this prayer is, but how profound it is. We did not obey his voice. Verse 15, and now, O Yahuwah, our HWHY, that has brought your people forth out of the land of Mitzrayim or Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten great fame for your name at this Yom, this day. We have sinned. We have done wickedly. So Daniel over and over again is admitting what they have done, the sin, the wickedness, the transgression, the iniquity, etc. Verse 16, O Yahuwah, according to all your tzedakah, your righteousness, I ask you, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your city, Yahrushalayim, your kadosh har, or mountain, your set-apart mountain. He's asking for his fury and anger to be turned away. In other words, now could you look favorably upon us? We're confessing our sin and we're making teshuvah. I'm interceding for the people as well, Daniel is saying in this prayer. Your people have become a reproach. Your people have come a reproach. Because for our sins and for the iniquities of our avot, our fathers, Yahrushalayim, your people have become a reproach to all that are around us. 17. Now therefore, O our HWHY, hear the tefillah of your avad, your servant, and his supplications, and cause your face to shine upon your kadosh place, your set apart or holy place. That is desolate. That's the land they were taken from. It's desolate. For Yahuwah's sake, O my HWHY, incline your ear and hear, open your eyes and see our desolations and the city which is called by your name. For we do not present our supplications before you because of our tzedakah, not because of our righteousness, he's saying, but because of your great rachamim, your great mercy. Yahuwah was merciful in the Tanakh. He was merciful as well. But look what they did, the people. 19, O Yahuwah, hear. Now listen to Daniel's plea here in verse 19. It's incredible. O Yahuwah, hear. O Yahuwah, forgive. O Yahuwah, listen. And do not wait for your own sake. O my HWHY, for your city and your people are called by your name. And while I was still speaking and praying and confessing, speaking, praying, confessing, remember, he's in sackcloth and ashes and fasting during this time period. And praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, Yasharel, and presenting my supplication before Yahuwah, my HWHY, for the Kadosh Har, the Kadosh mountain of my HWHY. Verse 21. Yes, while I was still speaking in tefillah in prayer, even the man, Gabriel. So now this man, Gabriel, who is an angel, Gabriel, Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, came close to me and touched me around the time of the Mariv offering, the early evening prayer. So now he's touched by this angel, this archangel, Gabriel. Verse 22, and he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniyel, I am now come forth to give you skill and binah, understanding. He came for this purpose, to give him skill and understanding, to open his mind and his eyes. At the beginning of your supplications, this is our last verse today. At the beginning of your supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to explain things to you. For you are greatly beloved. This man, Daniel, is greatly beloved. Yah dispatched Gabriel, an angel, because of Daniel's prayers, his fasting, his intercession for the people. Do you think he will not do that again? He's unchanging, remember? If we come to him with this kind of heart that Daniel came, admitting and confessing and making teshuvah and supplication and pleading with the Almighty. For you are beloved, therefore understand the matter and consider the vision. Now we're ready to get into the vision he gives Daniel of this great passage, these great verses in the last 4 verses. And we'll discuss those separately. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this prayer of Daniyel in chapter 9 of Daniel brings a barakah to you. Anthony, signing off.